Kiss. Kiss. 106.5.
Yeah, there's a book that's out today, Remember the Time, Protecting Michael Jackson in His Final Days, written by the bodyguards that were with him 24/7 in the last days of his life. Bill Whitfield joins us on the phone now to shed a bit of light on what Michael Jackson was like. Hi, Bill.
Hey, Bill.
Hi, how are you?
Very good. So you were a bodyguard for Michael Jackson, obviously, for 2.5 years before he passed away. What were those final
Correct.
years like for Michael Jackson?
Well, certainly, the time that I was with him, and I like to tell people that I got to know Michael Jackson. I didn't know the King of Pop because he wasn't touring at the time. That machine of This Is It didn't take place yet. So he was really on some real personal time dealing with his kids. Certainly there was some business matters that he tended to, but it was more so just seemed like it was just time to be with his kids and be the father that he was so greatly was. I mean, he spent a lot of time with his kids. And we traveled, and we just was out of the public eye, and he was just, being a great father with his kids.
Was he a normal father?
I would certainly say normal. Being a father myself, I would certainly say normal because he was able to do the normal things. We provided him with the areas in which we went. There was no one around but to him to be the father to his kids and just act and carry a normal life.
How did those kids feel about having to wear masks all the time? Did they mind, or did sometimes they think, oh, we don't want to wear masks today, Dad?
They understood. He totally explained that to them. He wouldn't just do that without them having some understanding to it. So they even knew, like if one of their masks would fall off, they knew to quickly put it back on because they knew the reasons why that was done.
And you say Michael Jackson had 2 girlfriends during the time you worked with him?
Yes.
Okay, so who were
I
those?
would certainly say two friends, and these were 2 women that came to visit him while we was traveling in Virginia.
And were they girlfriends in the traditional sense?
I would certainly say they were close friends. They were people that he spent personal time with and just hung out with. We traveled. We went to parks. We went to D.C. in the middle of the night, walked around downtown, walked around the monuments, the White House, and they just, chit-chatted, holding hands.
Do you think Michael Jackson was sexually active?
I don't know.
When you say you're with him 24/7, what about you would have done night shifts? Were you outside?
Of course.
Were you outside his door to the bedroom? Like, where were you positioned, and what? How much would you have seen?
We were outside the house. We had a security trailer outside the house. His house was his house. That was his domain.
But did those women
there?
Did they stay over? The girlfriends?
No.
Right. Okay. Yeah. And you specifically say in the book that he was not a child abuser.
Not at all.
Give us your
Not
thoughts
at
on why
all.
you say that.
Well, having been with him for as long as I have, and you would see that if that's who someone was, they could not hold that back for as long as I was with him. And again, being a father, had I seen any signs of that, I would have certainly ended my employment with Mr. Jackson.
Did you ever? So you never saw children in his bed? You hear of all those stories about how he had children in his bed,
Right.
And secret hallways and all that kind of thing.
Right. I just contribute that to people that just didn't know him.
Yeah.
And because he wasn't the type that gave interviews, people wanted to make something up to grab the news, and that wasn't him.
Someone's come out recently and said they too were abused by Michael many years ago. The kid that was the impersonator on the Pepsi commercial. There is concerns that now that Michael has passed, there will be more coming out of the woodwork, and I guess some don't know what it's hard to defend a man who's passed away. Do you see that there will be more coming out, and maybe some even that could be opportunists?
I'm sure there's opportunities, but do I think there will be anyone to come out with factuals? No, not at all. I just don't see it happening because we didn't hear anything, especially during my watch. None of that was going on.
Yeah.
So for something to come out now, it would certainly be fabricated and certainly not on my watch and well before me if it did happen.
Yeah. Bill, you're bodyguard for Michael Jackson, so you spent a lot of time with him. What sort of guy was he? Was he a strange person?
The word I would never say strange. Mr. Jackson was certainly different to us because he was raised in a different setting, having been a child performer, child star for that fact since he was 5, and he was never ever going to be the type that can just get up and just walk to a store, take his kids to a store and buy them what they want. as we do every day. So he had to bring, the amusement parks to him, unless he was going to shut it down. So if you want to find that strange, I just find that different because he had a different life than most of us.
But what was he like as a person behind closed doors? You say he can't go out and do those normal things. We understand that.
Right.
But just at home, was he alone a lot? Was he a sad person, a quiet person, a fun person? Shed some light on that.
Certainly quiet. Sad, I wouldn't say sad. Certainly he had some moments, some business decisions that was made that probably didn't go well and would upset him. But overall, with him and his kids, they was like the four buddies. Just to hear them interact at home and to see them in the car, they laughed, they joked, just like any of us. Go through drive-thrus, and they want a place to order themselves. That's who they were.
Were you there when he passed?
I was in Las Vegas preparing for the This Is It show.
Right.
We were setting up security for that location.
Were you really upset when you heard the news? Well, how did you take that?
I was hurt.
Yeah. And I think Michael was having money problems, wasn't he? I know I think you stated in the book that you would go months without a paycheck.
Right. A lot of people contribute. I've often heard people say Michael Jackson was broke. Let's be real. Michael Jackson could never be broke.
Yeah.
Okay, his records are still selling. He could never be broke. Certainly there was some mismanagement of his finances, different managers and different financial advisors handling things, and those situations were certainly being ironed out, which they were.
Bill, you are a bodyguard, and the idea of having a bodyguard for everyone else is a little bit unrealistic. Did you ever have to be a bodyguard for Michael Jackson? Was there a moment where his life was in danger and you had to step in line?
There were situations that we were aware of, and we prevented him from going to those locations.
Right. Okay.
We were always there was always at least two lines of defense before reaching, our client. And once we were made aware of situations, we certainly guided him in a different direction.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Did you ever try the glove on?
No, I've never seen the glove.
Okay.
You've never seen the glove? Oh, Bill.
No, never
You
seen
missed
the glove.
out.
Oh, damn
Well,
it.
thanks for talking to us this morning. You can get the book, Remember the Time, Protecting Michael Jackson in His Final Days. It's available in stores today. Thanks very much, Bill.
Kiss 1065.